Hello 102ers and welcome to week 3. There are a few things to tackle this week in your first major paper to be submitted. Fun times, right? Are you ready for that? So here we are at President's Day week, and a lot of you are probably wondering why we still had school on Monday. I don't know, folks. It's well above my pay grade. Sorry. Hopefully you'll forgive us and just continue with the week in the best way possible. Let's do this. Unit 1 is in the past, and we are now starting Unit 2. If you will do me the honor of scrolling down this page to the masterclass schedule right down here on the right-hand side, this link, you'll click here, go down and find week 3, which is right underneath Unit 2's start, as you can see. And honestly, we're going to have 3 bullet points to cover today to read. We're really not going to cover SIRS too much, but the other 2 we're going to tackle. And honestly, we have the 2 assignments. So it's pretty easy. I'm going to quickly show you the sample and directions of Unit 2's paper as well as review the Unit 1 paper at the end. But honestly, these 2 assignments are pretty much it. Will this week finally be a short video? God, I hope so. I'm really tired of the long ones. So let's chat about the first document and get right to it. And what is an informative research essay? Well, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's the Unit 2 paper, and it's how to do it. I'm not a huge fan of the title of this paper because it makes you think that you're writing just a straight informative research paper. You're not. It used to be called a comparing perspectives paper, which is so much closer to the truth. Basically, what you're going to do in this paper is dig deep in a minimum of 2 sides of your argument. Obviously, the one side you already agree with, and another side that you possibly don't agree with. For some of you, this is one versus the other, and it's very easy because you have a binary argument. It's either one thing or the other. For others, you have a much more nuanced argument, so you can think outside the box and find a strong side, which is one of many. In any case, you'll be looking at the overall perspectives rather than the specific sources this time. This is the key difference from the first paper. Then you reassemble the pieces into an understandable argument. Now, this is called synthesis. And there are a lot of building blocks that you can put together in any way that you want, and not everyone will put them together the exact same way unless they're following very specific instructions. Just think about my favorite toy as a kid, Legos. When you get a new Lego set, probably 99% of the people empty the box out. They build the intended kit with the instructions that were in the box. They then end up with a boat, or a castle, or a spaceship, or a bust of Darth Vader. It's perfect. They look at it for a while, play with it for a while. Some crazy people put it up on a shelf and let it collect dust. But for the most part, a lot of us just kind of broke it back down and, hey, I can take this castle apart, destroy it, and I can build a boat out of it. Or I can build a dragon. Or I can change Darth Vader into a spaceship. The pieces will remain the same, but now our own ideas and our own creativity lets us put these exact same pieces together in a brand new way, creating a brand new result. That is synthesis. That is what you'll be doing in this paper. Now, once again, you can go through this page and look at the cute little pictures that really don't do anything. You got the sample paper and explanation, which is okay. I mean, you can download it right here. Most of you cared pretty much on just what's on the requirements, which is fine. And here they are, kind of quickly placed. But once again, I have a sample that I'd like to show you. It's pretty helpful, and everything's in one place. Just like the first one, I, have this one for you. 2 pages of instructions. And then I think it's like 5 pages or 6 pages of the actual paper itself. I don't want to go through this today because it's not due for another few weeks. But I wanted to give you access to it so you can see where the end result will be. It will be 4 to 6 double-spaced pages. See? 4 to 6 double-spaced pages. And you'll be adding 2 new sources to it. So you've found 2 for Unit 1. You'll have 2 for Unit 2. Look through it, figure out what might be worrying or confusing you, and then email me. I'm all too happy to discuss it with you, but before I make a big deal of it, in 2 weeks, it'd be nice to have you at least understand a little bit of it. So you go through and find out that the format is pretty much the exact same as the first paper. Title page looks the exact same. There's your page number. Then down here, each section is split up by subject headers, or subheaders, excuse me. You've got your in-text citations here. You've got more information, and then down here, you're listing off the sources that you use within the paper. For 99.9% of you, you're going to have 2 sources. Every so often, you might have somebody that's going to define something that has a 3rd source. That's fine as well. Either way, this is attached to the announcement, so please feel free to look over it at your leisure. After reviewing this document we just did, and oh look, finding your synthesis question. That's the last one we're really going to review. Honestly, the using SIRS to conduct research, you've done that a lot in English 101. As long as you remember that in order to get there, we go back to the portal page, we go down to library, and then right here is SIRS at the bottom. As long as you can do that, you're in really, really good shape. So let's go to finding your synthesis question, and we'll kind of start there. It's actually important. There's a need for you to learn the difference between what is called a question of fact and what is called a question of opinion. Now, I've always referred to questions of fact as closed questions and questions of opinion as open questions. A question of fact, the closed question, is a question where the answer is brief and definitive. What's the weather for this weekend? What time is it? What color is that? What type of car is that? All of these are quick and easy answers. Now, a question of opinion, or an open question, is something where the answer can be debated for hours or days or months or decades, centuries. What happens after we die? Is there life after death? Is there life out there in the vast reaches of space? Will the Philadelphia Flyers ever win another Stanley Cup? Sadly, that last one breaks my heart a little bit. God, it's tough being a Philadelphia sports fan. You young people have no idea the decades of heartbreak that we old warhorses have endured. I tell you. In any case, once you get the idea which question is which, then you can start building your synthesis question. That is, a question which introduces your argument to the masses and is specific enough not to cause a lot of confusion. You have to avoid the vagueness and the direct answer and be a bit more open-minded about the information. So we can go down here and take a look at the 4 steps. Browse sources related to your topics. That means read a lot of research. Skim the sources. Not necessarily reading, just kind of going through it to get the basic idea. Then write a big list of questions. Go through it. Another way to do this is to go to ChatGPT and just ask for some research questions, some synthesis questions. Don't use them word for word, but you can at least look at them to get started. And then finally, choose the best one for you. Okay? Does that make sense? So once again, you can go back and review the SIRS document if you want. Go for it. It will never say you shouldn't do that. We've already kind of covered it in English 101 pretty heavily. It's practically the same material that you had before anyway. So let's talk about the homework instead. Your Unit 1 paper and another discussion board post. Oh, I actually really like discussion boards. You wake up a little bit. If you take it seriously, I can see that your wheels are turning in your head. I can also see who just doesn't give a damn. It's a win-win for me. Once again, we go to the Unit 1 paper. Click on that. You can see all the different informational pieces that are here if you'd like. Or you can go back to the announcement. Click on the attachment that I gave you. Because this, again, is the Unit 1 Literature Review Directions and Sample. It is fantastic, if I don't say so myself. And honestly, it's the same one you worked on last week, and I'm just trying to show you the sample and directions. And honestly, so long as you follow the sample down here, you're going to do pretty well. Just make sure that you play the game that you learned on Sesame Street. Which one of these things is not like the other? So put my sample up next to your paper and see which ones you match and which ones you don't. If they don't match, go back and redo it, okay? So make sure that you give me at least 3 pages minimum. Make sure that you give me the subject, or I keep saying subject, but it's actually subheaders. Like I said before, I actually kind of like when you have your research questions italicized. They jump out at me, which is great. You have to have in-text citations for anything that you have directly quoted or paraphrased. You have your subheadings again. These are the points that you're going to lose when people just kind of think that they know what they're doing. Follow the samples, okay? And then once you're done, you get down to the references page and list out the 2 references that you used for this source, okay? Now, it's pretty easy once you follow these directions. And let me just scroll all the way back up to the top, because here's exactly what you have to do, and you'll be in great shape providing you follow this packet. To finish, you have that discussion board I talked to you about. What you're going to have to do here is click here, and then once you get to here, you are going to see these 6 prompts for your initial post. And then, once you are posted, you can look and see if anybody else has posted yet, and you're going to pick 2 people to respond to. You're going to use these 4 points here in your response. Again, do not answer these in bulleted format. Give me a solid paragraph, just like I did down here. So here's my sample. It does not have to be this long. So here's my sample. You can go through and see all the 6 bullet points featured in here. I think I did 2 per paragraph. And then I even replied to it to show you what the reply should look like. Okay? So providing that you do that, you will be in great shape. Let's go back. There we go. So click on the Start a New Thread and just use these 6 bullet points for your first post and these 4 for each response. If you have any questions about this, get back to me as soon as you can, and I'll be happy to answer them. And that's it for the week, kids. Hopefully, it's not stressful for you. We're coming up to spring break in a few weeks, and then you can chill out a bit. Until then, I hope you have a great week. Be good, rest up, stay warm, and see ya.